Today, April 15th, 2011, I participated in the Day of Silence. I
Bullying and harassment, if the silencing experienced by the LGBT students. So, my experience with it at Thomas Jefferson High School was pretty interesting. I got to school and I signed up and I was a little bit late. This bell pretty much already rung and I saw my name was probably 25, which means that only maybe 20 students before me decided to participate, which was kind of a disappointing number. I also overheard some of the students who were running the thing talking about how some teachers didn't even accept the ribbons that they were giving them to support the Day of Silence. And I just felt that that was kind of messed up on a teacher's part. Like, it's kind of their job to be tolerant and to accept all of their students and to make sure that their students are safe and that other students realize that too. Because, I mean, what does it say when your teacher doesn't even support non-bullying? So, but luckily for me, all of my teachers were wearing the Day of Silence ribbons and supported my vow to silence, which was very nice. However, my peers were a little bit different. In my first period class, there was this guy who is my friend who kind of condescendingly asked, in a way he was joking, but you could also tell that he wasn't. He said, "Aren't you a Christian?" To which I replied, "Yeah," except I couldn't talk, of course, so I nodded. But in effect, he kind of looked at me like, "What are you doing then? Why are you supporting this?" And it was just so hard for me to not rip off my tape and start explaining to him about how much this day means to me. And he also point blank asked somebody else in the class, like, "Do you support this?" To which the other guy, who is also Christian, replied no. But apparently he was okay. I don't know. I don't even remember their responses. Like, they weren't okay about the bullying. Not necessarily. They didn't say it out loud, at least, but they didn't support gay people in general. And I mean, it's not like I can force people to be like, "Yeah, you have to support gay people." But at the same time, it's just, to me, it's like saying, I don't support Muslims even because I'm Christian. And if you're Muslim, then, you know, sorry, you're going to hell. Like, that's really bigoted and totally wrong. I mean, nowhere in the Bible does it say that you should condemn anybody. And I just feel like by not supporting them means that you're condemning them, which I guess is kind of a loose-ended or too broad of a definition, but like, I don't understand why people can't just accept people the way they are. And it was just kind of disappointing how little our school supported this day. The teachers seemed to support it, besides the few that I overheard some students talking about. But like, walking through the halls, seeing people look at me really funny and just start asking me condescending questions and trying to get me to talk. I mean, it was kind of childish and unacceptable. And I'm a pretty like humorous person. I can take a joke, but it's just something this serious shouldn't be taken that lightly. And I felt like no one was being serious about it. And it's just, I don't know why people can't grasp the purpose of the day wasn't just to say, like, I support gay people. It was more of like, you can be who you are, and you should never, like, it shouldn't be right for people to abuse you or to say that you are, like, worthless or sinning just because you're being who you were born to be. And like I said, it was just too bad that a lot of people didn't get it, and even some of my friends, who I still like. I'm not gonna be mad at them for believing what they believe in, but you could tell that some of them just kind of looked at me differently after they knew what I was supporting. And I believe that the worst feeling anybody could feel is not pain itself. It is the belief that you're suffering alone. And I feel like a lot of gay people go through that. And I can't imagine how it would feel like to have to stay quiet throughout your whole life just because people won't accept you. And some comments that people make about it, like, you can choose to not be gay, you can just try to change and live your life through God. I mean, and God is great, but there does come a point where you need more than faith. You need your society to back you up, and sometimes, I mean, at least right now, society just does not feel like cooperating. And it was hard for me to even support this, even though I believe it 100%, because of the way people were starting to judge me. And no one should ever have to feel like they should suppress their belief in order to please a group of people. And I mean, it's just too bad that society has not changed that much. I feel like this is just one more step. If we can get through this, get through religion, then we're good. And we can live a more peaceful life. But it just does not seem to be the case, at least not right now. And hopefully people will start to understand and start to just be open-minded. Like, no one said that you have to turn gay to support gay rights. I don't think it's anybody else's business who people love. I mean, as long as it's not hurting anybody, because there is a different level of being homosexual, pedophilia, incest, bestiality. That's on a totally different level than homosexuality. And a lot of people who don't support gay rights believe that it's in the same category, which it's not. Because even though it may seem unnatural, it it's between two consenting people versus pedophilia, which is most likely rape. And people that have large differences in age are allowed to marry each other as long as they're above a certain age where they can't be manipulated, or if you do get manipulated, then it's your fault because you're an adult already. And, well, bestiality, can't consent with a animal. Weird. And incest, well, that we figured is pretty harmful for a child, and that's why that's bad. Also, it just seems kind of creepy, which is kind of hypocritical on my part. But still, like, yeah, so that was my day of silence, and I wish that more people could have participated and have understood completely what the day was about, why people were doing it, and why it was so important to our society. But maybe in some other years where people will evolve and be more understanding. And I think we are progressing. I think just having this day, having people support it, is a good sign that it'll keep growing. And I don't think that we can regress from our progress. So, that's all good.